Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Precious. So I've been doing a series of videos on a topic called postpartum sex. So if you don't know, I'm a mom of 4 and I've got a 4-month-old baby, and this is a topic I'm very passionate about. So if you don't really know much about me, you want to go back and watch other of my videos. I'm someone who likes to talk about sex. I'm someone who likes to talk about family relationship because I know it's a work in progress. If you put in the time, if you do what you need to do, it's definitely going to work. But on this video, I'm going to be talking about hygiene. Yes, hygiene is something that nobody needs to teach anybody, right? Because it's one skill or it's one thing that you learn growing up, that you need to be clean, you need to be tidy, you need to be do this, you need to do that, you need to look clean. Basically, it's a basic knowledge. It's the basic thing that everybody is supposed to know. And this is why I'm not going to talk too much about it, because I believe that you know what you need to do. But because it's a very sensitive topic and is something that affects a lot of women, and people don't really talk about it because it has to do with, you should know it anyway, so why don't you know it? So that's why I'm talking about it, because I know a lot of women do some things not knowing that they're actually doing it the wrong way, and it affects them in the bedroom. So when it comes to postpartum sex, bear in mind you've just had a baby and sex is one of the last things on your mind. So this series is just encouraging women, encouraging partners to get the ball rolling, to get things moving, to have an enjoyable sex, to know that look, because you've had babies does not mean that sex is not going to be amazing anymore. Because you've had babies does not mean that you can't find time to make it work. You just need to find a way around it. So that's what this series is all about. So but if you haven't seen other videos I've made on this series, you want to go back and watch, because they are so important, and they are so knowledge, or I would say they are packed full with tips, hacks and knowledge that would really help you. And if you find these videos that you've watched helpful, insightful, I would like you to please press the subscribe button. Don't just stop there. I also want you to go a step further and turn on the notification bell. And if you also enjoy my video, any video you watch, I would like you to please give it a thumbs up. Let's quickly go into today's video. We're talking about hygiene. So what are the things, how can you promote hygiene when it comes to postpartum sex? What are the things you should be doing? What are the things you should not do? So we're going to be covering all of that in this series. The first thing that I think that when it comes to postpartum sex, or when it comes to sex generally, you should not do is what we call douching. Okay, it's called douching. Douching is basically trying to wash your vagina, like extremely trying to wash your vagina, washing your vagina in such a way that you have to put your hand down there clean, or even using some liquid that are not really okay for your body or for your down below. You put your hand there, wash and clean and all of that. Now let me say something to you. The vagina is self-cleansing. The vagina is like what part of what it's like. You don't need to clean the vagina, okay? The vagina cleanses itself. That's why as a woman, there's always that discharge coming out of your vagina. Your vagina is, every time of the month, there's always a time that your vagina is discharging something and not discharging something and all of that. That is just a way that the vagina cleanses itself. Do not help the vagina, because God made it in such a way that it has to be at a particular pH, which is acidic. That's just to avoid bacteria going down there, or to avoid infection, or to avoid anything that is not supposed to be there and survive. So that's why the vagina needs to be at that pH. Introducing or douching or trying to clean and all of that is going to make the pH level of your vagina to change. And if that happens, you become vulnerable. Basically, you can contract infection, you can have one thing or the other going on with you. Yeah, you can have infection, so many things will start happening to you down there. You start having issues that you would normally not have. That's because you've just changed the pH level of your vagina. Leave your vagina alone. It doesn't need your help. Just wash with water, warm water. That's all you need to do. You don't even need soap to wash your vagina. You don't need anything. I always say, if you really want something, you can use Femme Fresh. Femme Fresh is is specially formulated to keep the pH of your vagina, to keep it the way it's supposed to be. Don't use soap, don't use anything. Babe, don't use anything on your vagina. Leave it alone. It does not require any form of douching after sex or douching before sex or doing all sorts of things just to make you feel in your head that your vagina is clean. You're introducing bacteria, you're exposing yourself, you're making yourself vulnerable to infection. Another thing as well you may want to do when it comes to hygiene is there are a lot of women that during pregnancy they do experience UTI, urinary tract infection, which is basically you have an infection of your bladder is infected by any of these bacteria, E. coli or any of them as they call it. Then you start experiencing symptoms like when you wee, you get that burning sensation, you frequent urination. Sometimes you may even go as far as having temperature and fever and all of that. So some women experience it during pregnancy. So one of the things that you want to do, or one of the things that has been advised for women to do, is to go for a wee. If you're someone who is prone to having UTI, always go for a wee before sex. The reason is because you're basically using the wee to clear up the ways of your vagina, because sex sometimes can actually introduce E. coli. E. coli is found in poo. And when you, for example, you go to the toilet, you didn't clean your back, even whether you clean your backside or you don't clean your backside properly, there is always a chance that there is poo around that area. So when you're having sex, depending on the position, there's a chance that your partner's thing is going to touch that area and get in contact with poo, and when there's poo, introduces it into your vagina. Before you know it, you've contracted a UTI. So that is one way that sex can actually cause UTI. There are a lot of people out there that as soon as they have sex, the next minute or the next day, a few days after that, they have symptoms of UTI. So people always advise to do what? To have a wee. Go have a wee. Make sure you're clearing the way. Okay, you're cleaning the parts where the penis is going to go into. Your vagina is cleaned from everything that maybe by accident has been introduced. The wee washes it off. That's the reason they say have a wee before sex, and also you need to have a wee after sex. Now, one of the things that I always say is that some people, because they don't really drink a lot, okay, which is going to lead me to my next point, which means drink a lot of water. If you know you're going to be having sex, if you're someone who doesn't drink a lot, I would also advise that you should be drinking as much as you can. But if you're someone who doesn't drink a lot and you know that you're going to be having sex, or you've had that signal from your partner you're going to be having sex, drink, so that you'll be able to have enough wee in your bladder to wee before, and you're going to have enough wee in your bladder to wee after sex. So drink a lot of water before sex. That's one thing that would help in terms of the whole hygiene during sex or sex in postpartum. Another thing as well is wear loose clothing, or wear clothing that are cotton. Okay, personally, there was a time that I had to basically change the whole of my wardrobe. When I mean the whole of my wardrobe, my underwear, to cotton. The reason is because cotton is a material that is breathable. Cotton is a material that allows in and out of air. So if you're wearing a cotton pants, you can be able to have air going into your vagina. But if you're wearing synthetic or any of these materials that are not really cotton based, your vagina is going to be like hot, basically, because there's no air going down there. And for me, I would always encourage women, apart from when you're having your period, you should let loose at night when you're sleeping. Like, even if you're wearing a pajamas, you can wear a pajamas with no pants on. Wear something that is very loose to introduce air into your vagina, because it's going to help you. It's going to make the place fresh. Imagine you live in a house where there's no ventilation at all. Your house is going to be stuffy. Your house is going to start smelling. It's going to start having odor and all of that. So if you can be able to make your nighttime time, you know what, I'm just going to sleep naked. Obviously, if you want to wear a top or wear something that can cover, or you can even wear a dress, but just make sure that your vagina gets some air, right? Let your vagina get some air. Or if you're going to wear something in the night, let's say you really want to wear a pants, then you can get a cotton pants, or cotton, a pants that's got, or an underwear that is made from cotton, so you can still get that in and out flow of air. Another thing as well you need to bear in mind when it comes to sex during postpartum, this one a lot of people don't do it, is wash your hands before and after sex. Yeah, you're going to ask me, why should I wash my hands before sex? Because sometimes you've touched a lot of things, okay, you've touched a lot of things that your hands are basically covered in bacteria, and you go and let's say you go and start touching some parts of your body that you, at the end of the day, your mouth will probably still go there, and you, let's say your hand is infected with COVID-19, you now go and touch your partner in some areas that your mouth will likely go there. You've basically gotten COVID. That's just the truth of the matter. Or your hand is dirty, or your partner's hand is very, very dirty, and by the time you know it, they introduce their hands into your down below, infection. So it's just so important. It's just common sense to wash during and to wash after sex. It's very, very important. It's just all about hygiene, making sure you're keeping yourself safe and making sure you're keeping your partner safe. And don't forget as well that you have a baby. One of the reasons you need to wash your hands after sex is because you have a newborn baby. Okay, you have a baby with you, you have children. You can, after sex, forget to wash your hands. You have all those, my Nigerian people will call it yama yama on your hand, and because you have all those, your hands are basically covered and infected. All you do is use that same hand, hold your baby, clean the baby's mouth, give the baby, touch the baby's face, touch the baby's lips, and all of that. It's just basically cross contamination. That's what's happening. So wash before and wash after your hands. Okay, wash your hands before and after sex. Very, very important. Another thing as well is that for people who are very experimental, people who are into experimenting in the bedroom, they use sex toys, they use games, they use all sorts in the bedroom to make their sex life very, very beautiful. Well done for that. But one thing I'm going to advise is that wash immediately after sex. I know I'm saying immediately after sex because there's that tendency of, oh, I just want to sleep, oh, I just want to rest, oh, I'm tired, I can't do it, I'm going to do it later. And by the time you wake up, or by the time you stand up, you forget you're doing something else. You've not washed that and that is basically a breeding ground for bacteria. Okay, that's where bacteria is just going to flourish. You're giving the bacteria a good atmosphere, you're giving the bacteria a good ground, you're giving the bacteria everything the bacteria needs to flourish and grow. And in a warm environment as well, the bacteria is just going to start growing on your sex toys. So if you're using sex toys, wash. I know a lot of people do that. What I'm just trying to say on this video is that don't leave it later. Wash as soon as possible. Okay, you know, when you stand up to go and wee after sex, take that time, opportunity, take your sex toys, go into the toilet or go into the bathroom and wash as recommended by the manufacturer for you to wash, and keep it really, really clean. Another thing as well when it comes to hygiene during sex is if you notice any abnormality, because one of the things that I really advocate, or I really speak about for young women, because if you don't know, I'm someone who married really young. I'm someone that married without having a clue what I was going into, and which I'm going to be, I think after this series, I'm going to go into a series of marrying young and all of that kind of video. So at this point, if you want me to make a video on getting married young, any question you have for me to answer, let me know on the comment section. I'm going to be answering those questions because I married really young, and by the grace of God, I'm going to be 12 years in marriage. God has been absolutely amazing to me. So I am someone who is very passionate about women who are getting married really young, women who are getting married and finding out that marriage wasn't really what they thought it was because they got into it really young. So videos I'm making are mainly for this kind of people. So if you notice any abnormality, you notice anything not right, you notice that all of a sudden you're not experiencing pain during sex, or you notice that all of a sudden something is just not right, you can feel that something is not right, but you know that this thing is not right. I can't really say exactly what it is, but I just feel that something is not right with me, or something is not right with your partner. Go and see the doctor. A lot of us on YouTube are not professionals, are not doctors. we just say things based on our experience, or we say things based on the experiences of people, which is very fantastic. But the doctors are people who are specialized in a lot of things. I get a lot of questions on my Instagram and on my Facebook, which I do appreciate you. And most times when people ask me questions that I know that they need to see the doctor, I just tell them, go and see the doctor. So if you observe anything during your postpartum, or when you're having sex, or when you're doing the things you're supposed to do with your partner, and you find something not really right, you need to go and see the doctor. Don't leave it, because it might just be a sign of something that when you go, early detection might just save your life, or early detection may just be something that would be like a savior from you having something that would be very, very big in the future. So whatever you experience, either in you or on you, or you experience from your partner, go see the doctor and get it fixed as soon as possible. Because when it comes to your health, you're responsible for your health, you're responsible for your well-being. We as people who advocate for our try to help other women, we can only encourage you. We can't force you to go and do the things that you need to do. We can only encourage you. So go see the doctor if you notice anything not really going right with you when it comes to postpartum sex, or when it comes to sex in general. So these are the things that you need to bear in mind when it comes to hygiene, because like I said at the beginning of the video, hygiene is something that a lot of people it's something a lot of people do anyway. So coming to talk about it is not to say that you're a dirty person. It's just to let you know the things that you should not do, the things that you should do, the things that you should get better at. And that's why I don't want to talk too much about it, because I already know that you know what you're supposed to be doing. So if you've enjoyed this video and you think you've gotten value out of this video, I'd like you to please give it a thumbs up. And I also like you to please press the subscribe button and go a step further to also turn on the notification bell. If you think this video is going to be beneficial to anyone that you know, please forward to that person with love and with respect. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't skip the ad. Like I always say, as usual, do not skip the ad, because this really helps to encourage me make more videos for you. Thank you so much for watching. Be grateful, be positive, and be yourself. See you on my next video. Bye for now.